नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृन्दा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So I request all of you to please hear attentively, and towards the end of this chapter, what we are going to read today, there will be an interactive quiz which will help you to recollect the points that we have read in this chapter. I shall be sharing my screen, and you can also read as I read. You can see the text. Reading from the book A Second Chance, the story of a near death experience by His Divine Grace Vishwaguru Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Chapter 19, entitled Erasing All Doubts. King Parikshit said, O my lord, O Shukadev Goswami, Yamaraj is the controller of all living entities in terms of their religious and irreligious activities. But his order had been foiled. When his servants, the Yamadutas, informed him of their defeat by the Vishnudutas, what did he reply? O great sage, never before has it been ever heard anywhere that, O great sage, never before has it been heard anywhere that an order from Yamaraj has been baffled. Therefore, I think that people will have doubts about this that no one but you can eradicate. Since that is my firm conviction, kindly explain the reasons for these events. Sri Shukadev Goswami replied, My dear king, when the order carriers of Yamaraj were baffled and defeated by the order carriers of Vishnu, they approached their master, the controller of Samyamani Puri and master of sinful persons, to tell him of this incident. The Yamadutas said, Our dear Lord, how many controllers are there in this material world? How many causes are responsible for manifesting the various results of activities performed under the three modes of material nature? If in this universe there are many judges who disagree about punishment and reward, their contradictory actions will neutralize one another and no one will be punished or rewarded. Otherwise, if their contradictory acts fail to neutralize one another, everyone will have to be both punished and rewarded. Since there are many different karmis or fruitive workers, there may be different judges to give them justice. But just as one central emperor controls different departmental rulers, there must be one supreme controller to judge, to guide all the judges. The supreme judge must be one, not many. It was our understanding that you are that supreme judge and that you have jurisdiction over even over the demigods. Our impression was that you are the master of all living entities, the supreme authority who discriminates between the pious and impious activities of all human beings. But now we see that the punishment ordained under your authority is no longer effective since your order has been transgressed by four wonderful and perfect persons. We were bringing the most sinful Ajamila toward the hellish planets, following your order, when those beautiful persons from Siddhaloka forcibly cut the knots of the ropes with which we were arresting him. As soon as the sinful Ajamila uttered the name Narayana, these four beautiful men immediately arrived and reassured him, saying, "Do not fear, do not fear. We wish to know about them from your lordship. If you think we are able to understand them, kindly describe who they are." Sri Shukadev Goswami said, "Thus having been questioned, Lord Yamaraja was very pleased with his order carriers because of hearing from them the holy name of Narayana. He remembered the lotus feet of the Lord and began to reply." Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 3, verses 1 to 11. Who's the charge? Who's in charge? Maharaj Parikshit became astonished and asked Shukadev Goswami, "How is it possible for anyone to surpass the order of Yamaraja? Nobody can supersede a warrant issued by the police magistrate. Similarly, Yamaraj is the chief of the universal police, and he acts on behalf of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. Yamaraja's business is to arrest Yamaraja's business is to arrest all the criminal living entities and subject them to punishment in his region, Yamaloka. Sinful persons are taken there and put into various hellish conditions. The case of Ajamila, however, is exceptional. The Yamadutas were ordered to arrest him and bring him to the court of Yamaraja, but the Vishnudutas released him from their grasp. The Vishnuduta's interference with the Yamadutas was apparently unlawful, but just as Lord Vishnu can do anything, his messengers can likewise nullify any order in the material world. That is the power of the Supreme Lord. In the material world, no one has the authority or power to check the orders of Yamaraja, but the Vishnudutas acted under the higher authority of the Supreme Lord. When the Yamadutas returned to Yamaloka, they immediately went to Yamaraj and asked, "How is it that we were checked from carrying out our duty? My dear Lord, how many controllers are there? Are you the only controller, or are there many other controllers?" Less intelligent men think that a particular demigod, such as Indra, Surya, or Chandra, is supreme. This is like thinking the policeman on the street is all powerful within the state. There are so many police constables controlling the crowd in the street, but only foolish persons do not understand that above the constables are many higher officers, all the way up to the police commissioner, the governor of the state, and the president. The Yamadutas simply carried out the orders of Yamaraja, thinking him to be the supreme controller, and this was the first incident in which they were stopped from executing his orders. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that the Yamadutas were so disappointed that it was almost with anger that they asked Yamaraja whether there were many masters other than him. Furthermore, because the Yamadutas had been defeated and their master could not protect them, they were inclined to say that there was no need to serve such a master. If a servant cannot carry out the orders of his master without being defeated, what is the use of serving such a powerless master? Because the Yamadutas had been stopped, they doubted.
Ah,
Someone is speaking.
break.
Can you please
Yes,
unmute yourself? Can you please mute yourself?
Ah, please 1 hour, bo. Plastic, huh? Practice ಮಾಡಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಬಹು
Sorry for the disturbance. We'll continue to read. Because the Yamadutas had been stopped, They doubted whether Yamaraja actually had the power to punish the sinful. Although they had gone to arrest Ajamila following Yamaraja's order, they found themselves unsuccessful because of the order of some higher authority. Therefore, they were unsure of whether there were many authorities or only one. If there were many authorities who gave different judgments, which could be contradictory, a person might be wrongly punished or wrongly rewarded, or he might be neither punished nor rewarded. According to our experience in the material world, a person punished in one court may appeal to another. Thus, the same man may be either punished or rewarded according to different judgments. However, in the law of nature or the court of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there cannot be such contradictory judgments. The judges and their judgments must be perfect and free from contradictions. Actually, the position of Yamaraja was very awkward in the case of Ajamila because, according to everything they had been taught by Yamaraja, the Yamadutas were right in attempting to arrest Ajamila, but the Vishnudutas had baffled them. Although Yamaraj, under their circumstances, was accused by both the Vishnudutas and the Yamadutas, he is perfect in administering justice because he is empowered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, he will explain what his real position is and how everyone is controlled by the Supreme Controller, the Personality of Godhead. In this world, there must be measures for controlling the living entities. Shastra or scripture, the living entities, Shastra or scripture is meant for controlling civilized men. From this word comes the word Shishya, meaning disciple, or one who voluntarily accepts the control or guidance of the spiritual master. Those who are not gentle must be controlled by astra or weapons. The police force needs guns and clubs to control the thieves and rogues of society. The Yamadutas inquired from their master whether there are different departments of justice for different types of men. In the material world, a person is contaminated by some combination of the three qualities of nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance, and he conducts his activities accordingly. Symptoms of one chiefly under the influence of the mode of ignorance are laziness, excessive sleeping, and uncleanliness. The main symptom of one chiefly under the influence of the mode of passion is a strong desire to exploit material nature and other living entities for one's own sense enjoyment. And the chief symptom of one under the influence of the mode of goodness is knowing things as they are. To such a person, everything is revealed in its proper way. The Yamadutas suggested there may be many controllers of people in the different modes of nature, but one who is the chief controller, and there may be many controllers of people in the different modes of nature, but who is the chief controller and how are his actions carried out? As far as we know, you are the controller of everyone. In governmental management, there may be departmental officials to give justice to different persons, but the law must be one, and that central law must control everyone. The Yamadutas could not imagine that two judges would give two different verdicts in the same case, and therefore they would know who every judge is. The Yamadutas were certain that Ajamila was a most sinful man, but although Yamaraja wanted to punish him, the Vishnudutas excused him. This was a puzzling situation that the Yamadutas wanted Yamaraja to clarify. The Yamadutas had thought that Yamaraja was the only person in charge of administering justice. They were fully confident that no one could counteract his judgments. But now To their surprise, his order had been violated by the four wonderful persons from Siddhaloka. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur suggests that the Yamadutas may have said to Yamaraja, "We think that your absolute power of controlling is finished because four very powerful, wonderful personalities checked us from executing our duty which you gave us." Vishwanath Chakravarti also remarks that the Yamadutas may have wanted to bring the Vishnudutas before Yamaraja. If Yamaraja could then have punished the Vishnudutas, the Yamadutas would have been satisfied. Otherwise, they desired to commit suicide before pursuing either course. However, they wanted to know about the Vishnudutas from Yamaraja, who is also omniscient. Submissive inquiries. The Yamadutas said, "We wish to learn from you what are the actual facts regarding this incident. If you think that we shall be able to understand, please enlighten us." This is the way of inquiring submissively from superiors, not challenging. We shall always find that Maharaj Parikshit, Arjuna, and anyone else executing this process of spiritual enlightenment inquires with humble submission and a mood of service. Merely because we put a question to our superior does not mean that he is obliged to answer us. Sometimes he may refuse if we are not able to comprehend the answer. We cannot demand. Inquiry, submission, and service are the way to knowledge. Whenever Maharaj Parikshit questioned Shukadev Goswami, he said very submissively, "If you think that I shall be able to understand, please answer this question." Before Yamaraj replied to the Yamadutas with Krishna, just as the subordinate puts the question to his superior with a submissive attitude, similarly, the superior is not proud, boasting, "Yes, I can answer your question." He remembers the lotus feet of the Lord and prays, "Whatever you help me to speak, I'll answer." As long as the teacher is not proud and the disciple is not disobedient, puffed up, or impudent, they can exchange spiritual questions and answers. One should not inquire in a challenging mood, and the one who answers should remember the lotus feet of the Lord so that the right answer will be given. Yamaraj was very pleased with his servants because they had chanted the holy name of Narayana in his dominion. Yamaraja has to deal with men who are all sinful and who can hardly understand Narayana. Consequently, when his order carriers uttered the name of Narayana, he was extremely pleased, for he is also a Vaishnava. Thus ends chapter 19 of the book A Second Chance by Srila Prabhupada, entitled Erasing All Doubts. So we have now completed reading this chapter. We will have a short, simple quiz now. I shall be asking you questions with four options. All you have to do is, after hearing the question and the options carefully, type A, B, C, or D in the chat window. So these questions are meant to help us recall, remember, and understand the points that we read just now in this chapter nicely. So I think all of you are ready. Let us start the first question. Here's the first question. King Parikshit asked Shukadev Goswami about the defeat of the Yamadutas mainly because your options are A. Maharaj Parikshit doubted the authority of the scriptures. B. The incident appeared to contradict the universal system of justice. C. He wanted to glorify Yamaraja. Or D. He wished to criticize the Vishnu Dutas. So what is the right answer? A, B, C, or D?
B.
You have to type the answer in the chat window. So Abhishek Kumar, Ashwini Mataji, Kishore Kumar, Chetana Mataji, oh, and Ashish Kumar. All of you have given the right answer, and Radha Krishna Prabhu also has given the right answer, which is B. I think Ashwini Mataji has given the wrong answer. It's not C, it is B. B is the right answer. That is, Maharaj Parikshit asked Shukadev Goswami about the defeat of the Yamadutas mainly because the incident appeared to contradict the universal system of justice. That is the right answer. Generally, whenever any sinful person uh, is approached by the Yamadutas to take him and get subject him to punishment in Yamaloka, no one stops the Yamadutas at that time. No one can stop. The Yamadutas are authorized agents to take the sinful people to hellish conditions. But here, for the first time, the Yamadutas were stopped by Vishnudutas from taking Ajamila to Yamaloka. Therefore, Shukadev Goswami was asked this question by Parikshit Maharaj because it apparently uh, created a contradiction. So, Shukadev Goswami was asked by Parikshit Maharaj this question so that the answers given by Shukadev Goswami can clarify this apparent contradiction, not only for Maharaj Parikshit, but for all of us who are reading Bhagavatam. Okay, let's go to the next question. Question number 2. The Yamaduta's question about how many controllers exist highlights their conclusion about what? Your options are A. The existence of Devatas, B. The hierarchy of cosmic authority, C. The working of karma alone, or D. The power of rituals. Please type A, B, C, or D in the chat window. Yes, B is the right answer. B. The hierarchy of cosmic authority. The Yamadutas asked this question to Yamaraja. How many controllers are there? We thought that you are the ultimate controller. So on your order, every time we go and get the sinful persons here to hellish conditions, hellish planets for punishment. But for the first time, the Vishnu Dutas have stopped us. So we want to know whether you are the supreme controller, or are there many controllers, or is there a supreme controller above all such controllers? So basically, Yamadutas wanted to know the hierarchy of the cosmic authority system. Who is the supreme authority? That is why this question was asked by Yamadutas. Let's go to the next question. The analogy comparing Yamaraja to a police magistrate teaches us that your options are A. The demigods are independent rulers. B. Cosmic administration works through delegated authority. C. The police are supreme authorities. Or D. Punishment is random. Please type A, B, C, or D. Yes, again the answer is B. All of you have given the right answer. So, Prabhupada compares Yamaraja to a police magistrate and Yamadutas to police constables. Very nice analogy. What is the purpose of this analogy? Just like the police constables are working under the guidance of the police magistrate or superintendent of police, and the superintendent of police is working under the guidance of the ultimate decision maker in the government, which is the chief minister in the or the prime minister. In the same way, in the cosmic administration of this entire material world, there are delegated authorities. Ultimately, the supreme controller is Lord Vishnu or Krishna, and under him there are various authorities who have been delegated work and who have been empowered by the Supreme Lord. So that is the understanding. So the answer is cosmic administration works through delegated authority. And also, one more point to note here is Krishna himself does not do every work. He has his empowered servants who do work on his behalf. Krishna himself has no prescribed duties. All great authorities like Yamaraja are given prescribed duties by the Supreme Lord. This is the meaning of the Upanishad statement Natasya karyam karanam cha vidyate. The Supreme Lord has no karyam, prescribed duty to perform. All others are prescribed duties by the Supreme Lord. Okay, next question. Question number 4. The Vishnudutas stopping the Yamadutas demonstrates that your options are A. Demigods compete for authority. B. Justice in the universe is inconsistent. C. The Supreme Lord's authority overrides all others. Or D. Karma can be ignored. So, what is the right answer? Yes, all of you have given option C as the answer, and option C is the right answer. The Supreme Lord's authority overrides all others. That is the right answer. Next question. The Yamadutas confusion. The confusion of Yamadutas after being stopped reveals that they believed. Your options are A. That Yamaraja was the ultimate controller. B. The Vishnu Dutas were demons. C. Ajamila was innocent. Or D. Law of karma had stopped functioning. What is the right answer? Yes, A is the right answer. So Yamaduta's confusion reveals that they were believing that Yamaraja was the ultimate controller. In fact, that is what they said also. We were thinking that you are the ultimate controller, but now your control has been challenged by 4 beautiful personalities who stopped us from taking Ajamila. So therefore, their assumption was wrong. The Yamaduta's assumption that Yamaraja is the ultimate controller, that was their belief. That has been proven wrong through this incident of they being stopped by Vishnudutas. Okay, next question. The discussion about multiple judges giving contradictory judgments illustrates what? Your options are A. Spiritual law is subjective. B. Ultimate justice requires a single supreme authority. C. Different gods control different karma. Or D. Moral laws constantly change. What is the right answer? Yes, as most of you have said, all of you have said B. B is the right answer. Multiple judges giving contradictory judgments. We see that in this material world. Suppose a person fights a case in the lower court, and he's not happy with the judgment there, he can appeal to the higher court. And the higher court may give a opposite judgment that we see. We have experience of that in this material world. That means different judges, according to their understanding and interpretation of the law, they give different judgments in the same case. But in the case of the universal law, that is not the case. Ultimate justice requires a single supreme authority. So that is the point. Ultimately, there is only one supreme authority, Krishna, and Yamaraja and all the other authorities, they work under Krishna's supreme authority. So there is consistency in the universal system of law and justice, unlike the one we see in the man made system. This is what Prabhupada explains. With this, we come to the end of today's reading session. I hope you all enjoyed reading and deliberating on the various points that Srila Prabhupada has mentioned. We shall meet again on Monday and continue our reading. Thank you very much. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai,
Thank
Vishwaguru
you.
Srila
Thank you,
Prabhupada
Prabhu.
ki
Jai.
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 Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.